Hiya, folks. I'm Grim, and welcome to Grim Grooves, a channel where I react to and review music of all kinds. Today we'll be checking out music from Library of Ruina, the Angela themes from 1 to 3. I believe this is boss fight themes, probably, but I'm excited to check these out because the roll-in ones were absolutely stunning, and just about everything I've heard from Project Moon and Studio EIM at this point has just been amazing. So I'm really curious to see how this will be, if it'll be as intense as the roll-in ones, or we'll see. But if you've got anything else you'd like me to check out, throw it down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because it helps the channel grow, it helps the algorithm, and I appreciate it so much. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters over on Patreon, because without their support I wouldn't be able to continue doing what I'm doing today. And yeah, I also just did a couple songs from Melodies' solo album, I believe, over there, so if you'd like to check them out. But without further ado, let's check out Angela 1. Ooh. Already this song slaps. Like, this is incredible. Like, just the string melody there and then the piano underneath of it, as well as the little bit of synth here and there, like, it just sounds so amazing. Like, it's just such a great melody already, and we've only just started, not even a minute in, and we've still got like 5 minutes to go. Like, I'm excited to see where this will go, because this was crazy already. And now we're repeating back to the very beginning of the song. That was incredible. Like, the percussion coming in just hit so hard, and then again the little bit of a string breakdown there where they just took out everything else, just focused on the strings right after a little bit of a free piano flourish. Like, this is so good, and I'm like, it just keeps building, and now we're looping back to the beginning, but I can guarantee it's not just a basic loop. Like, they're gonna adjust things up a little bit going forward here, and I'm really curious to see what they do. Let's keep going. Such a good song. Like, I'm guessing that this is a boss battle, and it just would fit perfectly in boss battle. Like it makes sense that it's there because this is just such a good song. Like, and it has some like Legend of Zelda vibes a little bit with some of the melodies there. But that's not a bad thing. I love Zelda music, and it's so good. Like it has some bit of like a little bit of a 8-bit soundscape quality as well. That sounds a bit like, again, old fashioned, or like the kind of thing you would hear again back in that time, which is fantastic. Like it sounds so good. Like I'm just getting lost in the music. So let's keep going. Okay, so maybe it is looping. Is it just going to loop over and over again for the rest of the time? I don't know. I'm willing to go through this, but the next two songs are also 6 minutes. So if they are all just full loops, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll go through each one, because if it's just going to loop over and over, is it really worth going through the whole 6 minutes, or just get the first loop and then move on to the next? I don't know yet. I mean, it is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but there's just not a lot of new stuff to commentate on or analyze and stuff. But this does sound incredible, like I said. Like, it seems very hopeful and very energetic, and like, it doesn't seem as like melancholic as a lot of the other music from these games do. Like, there's not a lot of sadness here. A little bit in the strings, but it's not the main focus as it is with some of the other songs. But regardless, let's just keep going and see what it does here. This section right here specifically reminds me of Zelda. Like, there's just like a few flourishes there that it just reminds me of that kind of music, especially like a boss battle or some kind of like Ganon fight. I think maybe in Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but it just sounds incredible. That part too. Parts like this, it seems just very hopeful and adventurous. Like I said, like there isn't a lot of sadness here, and yeah, like it's just so upbeat and just so different from what everything else I've heard from these games. I think, like, which is cool. Like, it's good to have variety, but yeah. And with that, I think we've looped like 3 times, so I think I'm just going to actually go on to the next song, and I'll just get to the first loop and then continue on, because the backgrounds are very cool and everything like that, but I don't know if it's worth going through an additional 12 minutes of like 4 or 5 loops just to get the backgrounds, right? And I mean, I will play the game eventually, and I'm excited to do that, but yeah, let's just move on to Angela 2. this is definitely faster tempo, faster paced, and more energetic, like more frantic a little bit. Like doesn't again, still don't seem to hear any like sadness here for the most part. Like I said, a tiny bit in some of the string sections there, but it's definitely not like the driving force going through this as it is in, like I said, many of the others. But it's fantastic. Like that little piano melody behind the strings here, like it's a lot faster than the piano melody was in the first phase, but it's really good. And the strings are also incredible. I absolutely love strings like this. This is great. Cool how some of the elements of the first part of the song are carrying through to the second phase, like, but it's not entirely the same. Like again, those piano melodies in the background are going crazy here, and then the percussion, like the drum and bass element added in. Like the first part has some percussion, but nothing like this. Like this is just a lot more overdrive, and like that's why I said it seems a little more frantic, because the drums are just going so crazy, and like the percussion beats, which I believe are synthetic, but regardless, it sounds incredible. Like just so many different elements kind of building on top of each other now, and yeah, this is fantastic. I think this is probably my favorite part of this part of the song, or this Angela part 2. Like just it starts speeding up, and then you get the big hits from the percussion beats, and just with the strings behind. And that's 2 loops, I believe, of this song, so I think that's enough now. We're about halfway through this part, but again, it's just going to loop 2 more times, and as fantastic as the song is, I'm excited to get on to part 3, so let's keep going. This is incredible. Like, it just keeps building. Like, again, now we're on phase 3, and obviously things are a little more intense. There's a lot more like electronic elements going on there, and I wonder if that has something to do with like some kind of corruption or distortion when it comes to Angela, and like, because usually phase 3 things get a little more crazy and it just builds over time, but you can definitely feel in this music, like, it still has the same kind of general feel as the last two, but even more frantic and even more kind of disjointed a little bit, but it's still flowing together so beautifully. Like, the music is incredible. Like, it just keeps, like, again, I absolutely love strings and piano and stuff, so like, they're just, the core elements are things that I love, and the way that they're just going so crazy with it, like, so many interesting melodies going on with each of the instruments, and it sounds incredible, and the percussion is just picking up too and going more and more intense. This is great. Kind of almost like the laser sound effects, like like it's really interesting. And the way that the guitar came in there, like, that was incredible. Like, the electric guitar, like the addition of the electric guitar just added so much, and again, even more, makes it even more intense overall. Like something needs to be done, but it needs to be done now. Like, there's no more time left to wait. Like, but again, there's not a whole lot of sadness here still. Like, it's just high energy and high octane, and it's incredible. Let's keep going. Like I was saying, like, some of these string melodies are just so intense and so complex. Like, it sounds so incredible, just like how they flow through it. Like, it would fit very well in like a Castlevania game or something like that too. Like, just intense, high energy strings like this. I believe we've looped twice now, and I've got the entirety of the song, and it sounds incredible. Like I said, but again, it's just not worth, I don't think, going through more loops just to get the same melodies again. But it's fantastic regardless. Like, I would, but we've already gone for 20 minutes now. So, anyways, but this was incredible. Like, even the visuals, like just seeing all these crazy visuals from the game, like this house and things like that. Like, it's just all looks so interesting. And the music was just so crazy. Like, it's just so high energy, and like, I'm really curious the literary reference that this would be, because I believe most of these bosses have some kind of literary connections to them or whatever. And I'm not, the name Angela doesn't ring any bells, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the character has to be named after a character in a book or something like that. But regardless, it's super interesting. and the music was fantastic. Like, I love the synth, I love the strings and the piano, of course. That electric guitar part coming in was absolutely phenomenal. Like, it was just so unique. Just like the Roland ones, like, just so different than what I was expecting from this, and it just completely blew me away. Like, it was like, even like for the first batch, like, I didn't realize there was looping until a few times in, and it's like, just because I was so captivated by the music. And even here, like, I keep going through like at least 2 loops, and I'm like just vibing out to the music without realizing that I'm like, oh yeah, this is probably looping again. Like, just recognize a part that I've heard before. But regardless, it was absolutely stunning. So thanks for suggesting it. It was very cool. But if you got anything else you'd like me to check out, throw it down in the comments, and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more of this type of stuff. Until next time, later days, folks.